Hello everyone, welcome to day 2 of my Peace on Earth class to go. I have a beautiful class to go to share with you this week. If you want to earn this class to go for free, all you need to do is place an order in my online store, minimum of $50 before tax and shipping, and after any Stampin' rewards that you might apply by November 15th, and I will send you this class to go for free. There are additional bonuses at $100 and $150, and if you have any questions on that, please make sure to check the video description for all the details on how to earn this class to go for free. I also went over it in much more detail on day 1, so if you missed day 1, go ahead and check back to day 1 and you can see all the details on that. You will need the stamps and the dies to make these cards that I'm showing you today or this week. Anything that is outside of those dies I will die cut for you. This is what we made yesterday. Gorgeous, right? Beautiful Christmas card. The rest of the cards I'm sharing this week are not Christmas related, so if you're done crafting for Christmas or you're done with your cards, then that's okay, because we're not going to make Christmas cards for the rest of the week. All right, so this is what we're making today, and this card is so much fun, and I kind of had this idea to use the branching out dies. So that is these gorgeous dies. Now I'm missing a few here because they're put aside for my daughter to do some die cutting for me. But the branching out dies are gorgeous. I love these labels. I have used these labels a ton. They are fantastic. So if you need some good labels, get the branching out dies. They're fantastic. But I had a fun idea to do like a little trifold card with them. So it opens this way and this way. So I thought that was a super cute idea, and I wanted to see if I could kind of bring it into action, and I did, and it looks great. So that's what we're going to make today. Now there is some embossing on the background here. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. I don't know. But we're using the Peaceful Greenery. You'll be able to see that more in the photos on my blog. We're using the Peaceful Greenery Embossing Folder. This one actually coordinates with the Peace on Earth dies and, well, the bundle that we're using. And you can see like this label in the middle of the embossing folder. The dies in those label dies in those dies will actually fit perfectly in here. So we're not using those today because, like I said, we're using the branching out dies. I wanted to make like a little trifold kind of panel with that. And so that's what we're going to do today. So let's talk about our pieces, and we'll start assembling the card. All right, I have, for my actual card base, I have 2 pieces of Blackberry Bliss. This one is 5.5 by 4.25. This one is 5.25 by 4, and then it's embossed with that embossing folder. I think you can see that better here now. So that embossing folder is so pretty, and we're going to glue these together to make our gorgeous background. So just adhere that down. You'll get a little bit of a border from the top and the bottom piece, and then you'll have all that gorgeous embossing. All right, now for we're going to set that aside. For our little trifold, trifold card, you have 2 kind of card here that I have die cut for with those branching out dies. Now these will be included in your kit. You will get 2 of these in your kit, just like this. Now how I die cut these, let me get those branching out dies, and I will demonstrate how I die cut these in case you want to recreate these at home. I just want to make sure I grab the right die, so that's not it. Next one down. So when I die cut them, I scored my paper in half, and you'll get in the video description there's measurements. I didn't write them down, but you'll need a piece that is about 6 inches by 4.5, and then just scored at 3. That's what I did. And when I die cut them, I just made sure that the score line was just inside of that stitching, just like that. So this side never got cut. So you have the card that opens. There's no stitching on this side. Okay, so you just run it through just like that, just shy of that edge. Okay, hope that makes sense. You're going to need 2 of those. So you'll need 2 of that is the 3rd largest of the branching out dies, but you could do this with any size of those labels or any other label. So you're going to need 2 of those. We're going to adhere them together like this to make that trifold card, just like that. Now, as I was adhering them together, I was like, well, you know, if you put it right up against the edge, then they don't fold evenly. There's like an edge. I don't like that. It looks messy. So we're going to do a little bit of trimming on the card on the inside. So we're actually going to just trim it right along that stitching edge. I'm just going to like cut that off on both of these pieces. So the inside card will not have stitching on the sides. It will still have it on the top and the bottom, but just not on the sides. And so I'm just going to trim off just that little edge there. Just the stitched part. We'll throw that away. And that will give us the freedom to just make sure that the little, you know, edges are nice and lined up, and that everything still folds up nice and smoothly, and you have that clean finish on the outside. So let's go ahead and adhere that down. So take that trimmed piece. We're going to adhere this on the inside and just make sure to line up the edges, you know, make sure those little swooped areas, the swooped rectangle pieces, whatever you want to call it, that everything lines up perfectly. And they do, and it's beautiful. Just like that. Okay, now we're going to stick this onto our card. Actually, I should have stamped it, but that's okay. We can stamp it when it's on our card. Everything is flat still. We're going to live dangerously, but you might want to stamp it before you adhere it down. All right, so we are going to stamp this inside panel here. So that's the one that we trimmed off, and there's actually a piece of DSP that we're going to put on the inside here too. So we're going to have to trim that a little bit too. So let's put this on. Let me talk about this DSP too. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find my package. I think this is the Floral Charm DSP. I'm just going to line this up just along the score line here. And it's going to hang off the edge a little bit here, but we'll just trim that off. So I will have a full supply list in the video description and on my blog. So if you want to purchase this DSP, you can. This, I believe, let me see if I can find it quickly. Yeah, here it is. This is the Floral Charm DSP. You can see that I've used the heck out of this. It is a stunning, stunning package. Grab this one. This one is gorgeous. These patterns. We're going to use this a couple more times this week, so you'll see this one more. But it is a beautiful, beautiful DSP, so grab that one on your next order. Okay, so we put that DSP on. That piece was, I believe, 1.5 by 3. Right, and we're going to do the stamping. I'm going to use Blackberry Bliss, and we're going to stamp the inside greeting just up here. So all the best on your new adventure. Now, if you're using a different greeting, then maybe you don't need to stamp the inside. Maybe you could just add the DSP and be done, and that's okay too. So all the best on your new adventure. And then this leaves plenty of room to sign. Now, this would be a good like office card because you got lots of space to sign. Everybody can sign their name, write a quick note. Oh, you know what? While we have our Blackberry Bliss inked out, we do need to stamp the front too. So here's our front. I never even showed you the card, did I? So we're going to do sending in Blackberry Bliss. I just have the tiniest little piece of white here. We're going to end up trimming this out. So sending. All right, close the Blackberry Bliss. That's a color that I get everywhere. So I like to keep that nice and closed. All right, so we have this stamped. We'll set that aside for now. So for the front, let's go ahead and work on the front, and then we'll finish up our stamping in a minute. So I have of that same DSP, that same Floral Charm DSP, I have die cut that same label from the branching out dies. We're going to adhere that onto the front here. And so it's the same exact size. So it's going to cover this card, this little pop out card completely. Just like that. Okay, oh, and it's so pretty, and it goes so well with that Blackberry Bliss. So pretty. All right, I'm going to use my liquid glue. Now, if you wanted to use adhesive sheets for this, you could. I just die cut 2 of these leaves from the Peace on Earth dies, just in basic white, and I'm just putting little dots of glue on a few of the leaves. And you could use an adhesive sheet because they're going all the way down on here. But you don't need to cover the whole thing. Just a few little dots of glue will do ya. Glue dots would work too. Just like yesterday, we adhered these down with glue dots. You could also use glue dots for these. This is such a good like branch die. This when you need just that extra little foliage. This is a really good one to have. So we're just gonna add these just kind of staggered. Just like that. Okay. Come on, stick, stick, stick. Okay. All right, let's set this aside to dry and set up, and we're going to do the rest of our stamping. We're gonna do a little bit of heat embossing. So I have already die cut from Blackberry Bliss cardstock a label from the Stylish Shapes dies. And let's grab our embossing stuff. So I have Versamark ink, I have my stamp, I have my little, what is this called? Embossing buddy. And we're just going to wipe that over the top. That's going to get rid of the static so you don't end up with like a lot of little cling-ons, especially on darker cardstock like this. It's going to be really noticeable on white. So we're going to do Love. And I'm going to stamp this kind of on toward the right side on the bottom, so we have room for our sending. Right, and I'm going to grab some tweezers so that I don't A, get powder all over my hands, and B, burn myself. So I'm going to have these in tweezers. The embossing toolkit that the embossing buddy comes in does come with tweezers. I, for the life of me, do not know where mine are, but it does come with tweezers. So I keep my embossing powders in little containers like this. I just find it's a little bit easier. It contains the mess, but you could do, with the embossing additions kit, it has the little tray. So we're going to sprinkle the powder on top. Close this up. Always close your embossing powder and your ink pad before you start embossing. Otherwise you're going to end up with like a little tornado, a funnel of stuff. All right, let's heat up our tool. So I have my heat tool. I like to heat it up for about 10 or 15 seconds off to the side. It just gets it nice and hot, and the hotter it is, the quicker it's going to melt your powder, and so it's going to do less warping on your cardstock. So I like to heat it up off to the side. And then when you bring it to your cardstock, it's going to change from that powder to a glossy white, and hopefully you'll see that on camera. So starting to change. We're just going to move it over to each letter until each letter is that nice glossy white. All right, turn that off. So now it's a nice glossy white. We're going to let this cool for just a sec. The embossing powder actually cools very, very quickly, so you don't have to wait too long. If you have any of that excess powder on the outside, just go ahead and wipe that off. You can even get like a little tissue and just wipe it off. Just make sure your embossing is nice and cool before you start wiping stuff off. But beautiful, right? All right, let's grab our sending here. We're just going to trim this out. Just like this. All right, perfect. And I'm just going to grab a little edge piece here, and I think this might even be too big. So I'm going to cut this in half and just grab a little piece just for my sending part. So a little piece of dimensional. Mini dimensionals might work, but just cutting a little edge off, a piece off the edges is fine too. Okay, pull that off. I'm going to stick this down, sending love. All right, and a couple dimensionals on the back of this. We're going to stick this onto our card. Now that our leaves are nice and dry, stick that on there. Just like that. Beautiful. Let's finish it off with some rhinestones. If your order is over $150 before tax and shipping and after rewards, you're going to get a full package of rhinestones, and you're going to have so many rhinestones left over that you won't know what to do with them. I'm sure you'll find something though, because they're gorgeous. All right. So a little bit of sparkle, never hurt anybody. All right, and that completes our card. Isn't it gorgeous? So it's a really fun little trifold card made with those branching out dies. Super fun, right? And quick and easy, so you could really make a stack of these as well. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me for day 2. I hope you come back for day 3. I have another quick and simple card tomorrow, but it is gorgeous. So make sure to join me for day 3. If you want to get this class to go, all you need to do is place an order in my online store, minimum of $50 before tax and shipping, by November 15th, and I will send you this class to go for free. If you have not yet already, please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you never miss a video, and that really helps me out. It's free for you, and you never ever miss a video, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.